Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with Ion Cinema, here to review Kino Lorber's release of Blue Collar on Blu-ray on December 10th. Blue Collar is Paul Schrader's directorial debut, and I've been actually waiting years to see this film, and it's curious as to why this film is not talked about as much, considering Paul Schrader started out obviously as a screenwriter for Sidney Pollack, Martin Scorsese, and Brian De Palma. He did the Yakuza, Taxi Driver, and Obsession before he even began his own directorial career with this film, which nearly ruined him since he had a mental breakdown reportedly on set due to the tension between the three leads, which are played by Richard Pryor, Harvey Keitel, and Yaphet Kotto. Infamously, there's the incident apparently Richard Pryor, in a drug-fueled rage, pointed a gun at Schrader, saying, "You're not going to get more than 3 takes." None of that kind of behind-the-scenes tension is evident in the film, which is about 3 friends that are auto workers in Detroit who decide to take it upon themselves to rob the union office, only to find out that the union has been lying to them more than they think, and there of course are tragic consequences. The essence of the film, it was critically well received. I think it was on Siskel and Ebert's top 10 list that year, but why it hasn't kind of been recuperated is interesting. But the elements of how it deals with the underbelly of the underpinnings of the working class in America feel very similar to European films that also deal with union workers and the effects of strike on the working class people. Watching this, I felt I was reminded a lot of Beat for Beat, which is also a very underrated film by Maren Karmitz, and also Stéphane Brise's latest film, At War, came up while I was watching this. It's fascinating because Schrader's hardcore has a cult following, which he made after this, and then of course he did American Gigolo. This was shot by Byrne, who did a lot of 70s and 80s film classics, Bull Durham, Smokey the Bandit, Howard the Duck. The performances are very interesting. I think it's curious to see Richard Pryor. You can see him resisting Schrader's direction, I think. He tries to break off into his comedic asides, but this is a very potent, dramatic performance from him, as well as Keitel and Yaphet Kotto, and this was a year before Kotto did Alien by Ridley Scott. Also interesting, they're friends that like to go off and have orgies, so there's some curious scenes where Pryor and Keitel are sword fighting with dildos, which is surprising to see. All in all, I give this film, Blue Collar, 3.5 out of 5 stars. Kino Lorber's release of the film, 3 out of 5 stars.
Hey, this is Eric from IonCinema.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.